Welcome to the Development Pod. So recently for me, I just graduated high school. I now have a diploma right here. Grateful and blessed for opportunity because at this recording, yesterday, May 25th, 2024 was my graduation date. Should have been May 24th, 2024, but that's alright. But the main thing I want to talk about today is before you unleash, before you go straight into doing what's needed, you need these three things specific when it comes to you following your dreams, your passion, your goals, or just having personal things to just achieve. This goes with anything. Just don't want to rant here, but this goes with anything. Not just your purpose, anything. Anything. The main thing you need to have, which the first one is a plan. What's your plan? I had a plan all planned out. You see what I'm doing right now? When I was a freshman, I started podcasting. From podcasting, I was making income. Good income. But eventually, in 2021, when the law changed and had to be taxed, money had to be taxed, money that was made online had to be processed through the IRS for tax. I couldn't make money because of my age. So I made the plan of saying when I'm 18, I'm going to go back, relaunch this account so I can make my money from it. And now I'll make my money from the Spotify account. Because now it's called Spotify Podcast, just because at the time it was called Anchor. To get back to the point here, now I can monetize. Around my freshman year, I made this book right here, Do You Need Any Help? My first book, and I launched it as a senior on my birthday, November 18th in 2023. This right here, I made this when I was a sophomore, going into my junior year, and this got published in March 2024, March 21st, 2024, the day my podcast got launched, just 4 years later. Launched the book, and now both of these books are bringing impact to people. This talks about finding inner you. This talks about how to find your purpose and build your skills and passion. Both on Amazon if you want to check them out. But then, I always thought of this since I was younger. I finally made my own t-shirt brand with the logo for the podcast. Now, with all this, it all came with a plan. The plan was figure out how I was going to make the money, figure out how I was going to print it, figure out how I was going to be able to get these things funded, right? Well, with the help of me having allowance, but also making my own money, I was able to invest in these things. And now look what happened. And mainly for my t-shirt, this all came from investments in these book sales. And these book sales came from my allowance, but it all happened because I had a plan. And then going back to the podcast here, it stopped for a bit, for like 2 or 3 years, but now I'm back monetizing, making money with my podcast, like I did back at age 14. Now at age 18, still doing it. It's a blessing, right? But with all those plans, it couldn't have went well if I never had supporters. You need your supporters. What is our next thing? You gotta have the right people to support you. You can't have haters. You can't have people that always question you or figure out what it. Maybe this may not work. You sure? You alright? Do you know what you're doing? When you have people like that, you need to be aware because either they're number one hating on you, or either number two, they don't know what they're talking about, so they're just looking at it as, oh, I don't know what he or she may do. They might mess up, but you can't get upset or scared because you don't know what they can do. And for me personally, I'm a Christian, so my biggest supporter out of any supporters is Jesus Christ. So I give all the credit to him. So that's my number one support. Besides my parents, my friends in high school, and some other friends I met through networking, and other other adults, of course, too. Not just teenagers on the age of me, but adults too, who have helped me in my journey that I met through via networking online, mostly. But all this happened because I had the supporters. And from supporters, you can have them, you can have the plan. But all that, the last thing that culminates all of it, which is the purpose, the passion, the drive to do it. The drive to do it. Look at that, back to the book again. The drive to do it. So if you have the drive to do it, what's stopping you? That's what you gotta have. Have that unrelying strength to keep going, to keep moving, to keep going without nobody listening to you. Block out all the noises, just be like, and keep on going. Don't worry about no one else, because when you worry about other people, you're not gonna get nowhere in life. I became the person I became because I've been through so much trauma, so much adversity, so much negative people. From people at my school, from verbal bullying, from people at home who doubted what I did. And only a very few of them believe what I'm doing now. That's gonna be reliable. Sometimes I had bandwagons. Sometimes I had manipulative bandwagons that would act nice and then change up. But overall, I didn't let that change my direction. When I was younger, it was a struggle, but as I build up, my faith grew, not just in myself, but in Christ. But not just in Christ, in my purpose, but not just my purpose, but in you, for the people supporting me, for me supporting you, because hey, at the end of the day, with purpose, it's not really just something that's for an individual. It's something that's supposed to make the other person joyful and happy as well. Because with purpose, how I see it and how it should be is that it's not just something that just helps you, but it brings joy to someone else. Because when someone's watching you, you're bringing the joy to them as well. Whether it's boxing, cooking, content creation, being a broadcaster, anything, being a sports broadcaster, being an athlete, anything that I can't name by name right now, being a gamer, streamer, all that is awesome because you're bringing purpose to someone and helpful. You're bringing a purpose to someone. And I'll be real with you, doing OnlyFans is not bringing a purpose to nobody. Doing all those evil craziness, selling drugs is not bringing a purpose to nobody. Bringing a purpose to somebody is something that's positive, something that's uplifting, something that's going to bring joy to the soul. And that goes whether you're a Christian or not a Christian. And I'm being so true and honest with you because that's just a God honest truth. So just look back at everything I say. Just know that you need the plan to prosper, which is of course this. But instead, everything went out good because I did it all before. I got this. But to get to the point there, you gotta have a plan, you gotta have a support, and you gotta have a purpose on what you're doing. Because when you have all those three P's, or should I say, when you have all those three, the plan, the support, the purpose, with the perspective and fellowship sprinkled in, you're gonna go a lot of places. Especially gonna go a lot of places when you subscribe to this podcast, which is called the Development Pod on YouTube or on a podcast platform if you're listening to this. So I just hope you learn something from this. And once again, don't want to rant here, but you have an amazing journey. And check out the links down below if you really want to support the podcast, from our merch to the books and to anything else. Thank you.